What's up guys, Dan Furlani here and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to this channel, there's one thing you need to know. In this channel you will find videos with and about the Canon 90D, the Canon M50, the Canon EF R and the Canon R6. This one filming right now. Alright, what do I talk about today? Okay, let me tell you. When it comes to wide-angle lenses, I have this one, the EF 16 to 35mm f2.8 Mark II, but I'm a professional. So you may ask, why don't you get the RF version? Right. Well, let me tell you. This is an L series lens and it works fine. It's great quality. And another thing, such a wide-angle lens is used mostly for architecture shots, landscapes and so on, things like that. And for the way I use it, like mainly for videos, for my establishing shots, for my studio shots, and occasionally for some paid works. But again, why don't I get the RF version of this lens, the 15 to 35mm f2.8? I just said that. It's because for the things I shoot, I don't need it. This is more than enough for videos and photos, but especially when it comes to photos, I mainly shoot like fashion, events, interviews, or even products. So let's say I don't really need this particular lens like to be the best one, the best of its kind. But hey, I still remind you that this 16 to 35mm EF is an L series lens. So it's not that I'm using something like cheap quality and crap. Anyways, this thing made me realize that I very seldom took photos, like stills, with this lens. And I think I never took any on my Canon R6 with the 16 to 35mm. So I decided to give it a shot and take it out and shoot some photos. While doing that, I decided not to shoot any video part, like vlogging, b-rolls and so on, because I know I would have focused too much on the video part. But this time, I wanted to be just about photography with the Canon R6 and the EF 16 to 35mm f2.8. Let's take a look. Alright, so what do you think about it? Leave a comment down below and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things. My gear. And check the link to Epidemic Sound. You can get 1 month of awesome music and great sound effects for free. The first thing I want to mention, I'm so not used to shooting at this like focal length, especially at 16mm. In fact, as you probably noticed, I shot some of the shots wide open at 16mm, but then I always tend to zoom it in at 35mm because I felt more comfortable, like for framing stuff. But anyways, the fact that I don't feel comfortable with such a wide field of view and the distortion doesn't mean that you should not shoot at 16mm. That's just me, because my specialty is not architecture or landscape, but something else, where I very seldom use such a wide field of view. But that's a limitation. That's something I have to fix, and that's why I decided to try to shoot with the Canon R6 and this lens in the first place, like taking photos, of course, because I always use this lens just for a different purpose, like for establishing shots and for my studio here. Even when it comes to street photography, of which I'm a big fan, you can get creative and get awesome shots. Or if you're like me, you're not comfortable with that wide field of view, you can zoom it in at 35mm and Bob's your uncle. Just one thing. If when you try a wide angle lens and you try hard and you realize that all you shoot is at 35mm or between 24 and 35, and no matter how hard you try to shoot a 16 or something like that, well, then you should just get a prime like the 35mm f1.8, and that would blow your mind. That would be so much better for the wider aperture and for being a prime lens. Especially the RF 35mm f1.8, which I own, and for its price, it's a steal. It should have the red ring around it, but it doesn't for some reasons. In my case, I'm even a tighter kind of photographer. Tighter meaning that I prefer from 50 and up. Like my favorite field of view is like the 50mm or the 85mm for portrait shots and street photography. I mean, when you buy a lens, on the box is written the name of the lens, the maximum aperture, if it has stabilization or not, but you don't find like this is a landscape photography, or this is fashion photography, or this is a street photography lens. No. So that means that whatever lens you get, even with the 16 to 35mm or the 15 to 35mm, the RF version, you can shoot whatever you want. It's just about being creative and getting used to it, because I'm not used to that very wide field of view for photos. But I'll keep practicing. That's my limitation and I have to fix it. So this is why I don't need to buy the RF 15 to 35mm f2.8. For me, it would be an overkill because I don't need it for my professional work, and I have this, which is more than good enough for practicing and also for professional works, of course. Again, it's an L series lens, a little bit old but still working great, producing great results. And again, I just use it for my establishing shots and B-rolls and studio shots, and it does its job. If I have to invest money, well then I should invest on the 7200, the f2.8, or even the f4. I'm thinking a lot, because I might get one of them very soon. I don't think I'll get the RF version, or maybe I will. I don't know. If I purchase one of these lenses, you'll be the first ones to know. Alright, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button right now and subscribe if you ain't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah.